Hello everyone, and welcome to Final Boss TV episode number 63! Oh my goodness. 63, really? Woo, it's been a long road. Today's episode, we are going to be sitting down with three members of Paragon, who just cleared Mythic Highmaul 7 of 7, world first, and all the trials and tribulations that went with that, and of course how they came from here, talk about Mists of Pandaria a little bit, where they went, because, you know, everyone was like, Paragon's the best of everything, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, where'd they go? We'll talk about that today on the show, and just for some paperwork keeping real quick here, just so you don't, like, freak out when chat room's like, where's Anna? Anna has, if you were watching the Dev interview recently, stepped down full-time as the co-host of the show. So I have a couple of awesome guest co-hosts planned over the next couple of months. I did release a content slate of what the shows coming up over the next couple of weeks. Anna will be around, but just not every Sunday. That's fine. I have 3 guests today, and those guests are returning, of course, to the show for his 7th time, I think, at this point, Deva. There's Deva, Hunter and Paragon. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, boys and girls. How you doing?
You all set for this? You good? You get some rest this weekend after the craziness?
Yeah, I've been sleeping like a big man. Haven't done anything else except try to buy Christmas present and sleeping. That's what I do.
That's probably fine. You guys have earned some sleep. Not a problem. Then we have Alzu, also Paragon, obviously. Resto Druid. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing actually very well right now.
And we'll get
exhausted.
A little bit exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, I think you guys all deserve some time off right now. Well, for a couple more weeks anyway, until BlackRock comes out, right? Yeah, then the real race starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then for his first time on the show, also, we have Yliajo. He's playing Enhancement Shaman right there. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Hello.
You all set for this? Ready to go?
Yeah.
Did you move your head to be in front of the logo? No. You're putting it in front of the... Yeah, there you go.
There.
Okay, good. You ready for this, sir? How you doing?
Yeah,
you all
buddy.
set?
Yeah.
All right.
Hashtag real race.
Oh, the real race. Yeah, BlackRock Foundry, the real race.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, which I guess we'll touch on that a little later in the show, too, why it's the real race, or, you know, whatever have you. But, yeah. Happy to have you guys on the show. I was setting this up with Deva right after I heard the news. Basically, I just sent a message in and I got in your guys' IRC channel and was like, what's going on? But, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I've never had 3 guests on the show before, so lots to talk about, lots to get into. This is my first solo show in well over a year, so go easy on me, okay?
Yeah.
But, so 2 of our new guests, and then Deva returning. There is a bit of a change that happened in Paragon over the last about a year plus, because you guys have been raiding together now for about a year. But so there's some new blood and the old blood. You want to guys walk me through like how you guys and the guild as a whole like transitions from Mists of Pandaria to Warlords of Draenor? Like how has that how'd that go for you guys? Who wants it? David, take it first. You're the old man in the house.
Yeah,
Right?
Okay. Deva has been here for so long, so he needs to take this.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, pretty much on Mists, like everybody know, well, I don't know if actually anybody know, but anyways, we went for 10-man because in the end of Dragon Soul, we had a lot of member issues. People were quitting and they didn't enjoy the game anymore. And suddenly we were stuck with like, how many people? 17 people. And it's really hard to recruit quality members from Finland, and they actually have the time and the commitment for the guild, which we need. So the officers were kind of talking, and they just managed like, okay, it's so much easier if we actually just go 10-man. And then they asked all the members and whatnot that do they want to get involved and whatnot. And then they obviously choose the best comp. And then we had similar guild who was world second on 10-man bracket with being depraved. And well, I was saying this earlier that, dude, we need to do this. We need to merge with them so we can race with the big boys, big boys.
Oh.
And they didn't they didn't want to do that. And in the end, when they heard about Mythic, they were kind of forced, and I was really happy that Depraved actually complied. Like, all
Complied.
the
Are you
people.
guys? Okay. Right,
Well,
right.
you know what I'm saying. Like we didn't force them or anything,
Right.
but just asked
Blizzard
them. Like,
did. Yeah.
yeah, like were they interested? I'm really happy that actually went all well, and we got quality members.
Right. So it's almost like a partial guild merger, but not really a guild merger. A bunch of their players just came over from their guild to Paragon early in Mists, or somewhere in the middle of Mists, I guess.
The After the Seeds of Orgrimmar,
Okay.
I think January was the first raid, the 25-man raid, and
Yeah. It was the BlizzCon of 2013 when they announced Mythic raiding, and that's I played in Depraved at that point, and that's when it clicked me, like, wait a minute, it's 20-man raiding only. We don't want to be stuck in 10-man, no way. So we had to do something, and we didn't want to go backwards in our progression. So the only way was up. So I think I was initiating. I actually whispered Deva at some point, like, hey, we need to talk about this. We kind of need to merge. But at that point, it was still, in my opinion, that like most of us couldn't trade as hardcore as Paragon.
Right.
But when I talked to say that, he made it really clear that there is no way that we will merge. We will just join Paragon. So we will keep their rules
Okay.
and keep all their hardcore stuff. So that's where we are now.
Oh. So not like I guess some of those situations do work, because everyone hears the word merge in the World of Warcraft world. They're like, no! Oh God! Run away! Get out of there! Because it's just a terrible thing to talk about merging. But I guess if you guys just joined up into the ranks of Paragon to make the guild that it is now, that obviously it worked out. Yeah? Maybe?
I think we got 7 members from Depraved, I think.
Nice.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's something like that, because we had our Elemental Shaman quit, like right after Siege progress was done, and then we actually had our some members as well. So we didn't everyone join in, because, well, different choices and so on. Everyone couldn't join the hardcore raiding scene anyway. So
okay.
But I'm actually surprised that many could join.
But Alzu, you came over from Depraved, Ren, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then, Yliajo, what's your story, sir? Where'd you come from in this whole mess? Because you're like in the middle of this, because you're been there for a while, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I joined right after Paragon killed Ragnaros in Firelands. Actually, like 1 day after. And I mean, like I said, I knew some of the people already from like back in the day, like Vanilla. Like I think I played in in the same guild with Deva, like Knockout and Grimside Clan, like back in the day.
Oh, okay.
But I joined the Paragon like right after Firelands, and then I skipped a bit because mob, we needed to go 10-man.
Right.
And then not everybody could play, so I played in Envy, like 1 tier, and then when I knew that the Mythic rating is gonna come back, with the come at the 20-man.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to raid again, and then I came back.
Right. And now, did you start out as Enhancement at the beginning of Draenor, or were you not? Just to quell that.
No, I mean, I told you yesterday already that I played Enhancement Shaman since Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. That was the good times.
Right.
But I played a rogue in Mr. Pandaria, and then I started to play a rogue a bit. Then we had different choices, like going into VOD. But man, Fire Nova. Fire Nova, just too powerful.
Right. Well, because you guys released this kill shot, right, with the damage meter in there, and everyone was like, oh my goodness, Enhancement Shaman OP. And I've been playing Enhancement Shaman since Burning Crusade came out for the Alliance. I've been a Space Goat until Mr. Pandaria myself. And like, we've never had that ever, like anything. And we're like almost a 1-button class at this point right now. And with the dev interview that I just did, they kind of confirmed softly that they're okay with classes having a niche. And it seems like that one for Enhancement Shaman is Mythic Imperator Margok.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Possibly.
Yeah.
But that was a
No,
lot
well,
of... Oh, go ahead.
well, yeah. I mean, obviously, when you go to the dungeon journal, you can see that there's that the 2 runes are up every time, so you know that you're gonna have those ads coming up from the like the medium ad.
Yep.
But you can't imagine my smile when Chokal came for the first time, and there's like 20 ads coming.
With
I
the
was
massive
like, yeah,
ads.
buddy. Yeah, buddy.
The whole now, and of course, just so you can also like run this into the ground, just because everyone sees like the huge amount of damage that Enhancement does on that fight, though, that doesn't mean you're like, I'm just padding. It's awesome. No, all those Fire Novas hit the boss too.
Yeah, I think earlier you were like first on the boss's damage taken too, right?
Yeah.
And at
That's
the same
what-
time destroying like how many? 10 ads at the same time.
Right.
Topping the single target on the boss, killing all the ads by yourself. Decent. I would say
Decent?
decent.
Decent,
Yeah.
Deva. Decent. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I do have to say that it was a teamwork because
Oh,
we
I'm
were
not- yeah,
doing the effective AoE stuff. That's why I could do my Fire Nova stuff. So others were doing like more single target DPS on the boss.
Right, well, yeah, I'm just highlighting the fact because I play Enhancement as well, and that's like, it's not bursty AoE, it's just consistent, stable, repetitive, continuous, additive AoE that just lasts forever, not based on any cooldowns. Liquid Magma helps a little bit, sure, but when you've got a flame shock on every single one and then 7 Novas going off, you need other people to help you out. So, yeah, absolutely. Like, Chimera Shot Cleave helps out a lot. Of course, Boomkin Cleave helps out too. So, there's things you need to help you out with. You can't just do it by yourself, yeah. Team effort. Team.
Exactly.
There's no enhance in team. There might be. You just respell the word. I don't know. So, I guess with that, though, I wanted to talk a little bit about what you guys think about the strengths and weaknesses currently of, like, the rating specs and classes. Like, is there anything that you want to, like, that pinpoints? I know Deva was a little passionate in our show setup about what happened right before Mythic progression started. But what do you guys think of the way the classes and specs have worked out right now currently? I'll go with Alzu on this one first, actually. How do you think for healers, sir?
I think the healer balance it's actually very good right now. Of course, there are differences which make other healers shine at different times. Like, well, Discipline Priests are still good because they prevent the damage instead of heal it up, and like Druids bring utility, like Stampeding Roar, really good combat resist, it's instant, and so on. But it also brings some issues because, like Resto Shamans, they rely on the raid being stacked, so they don't shine that well on some fights. Like Twin Ogron, for an example, or Korag. So there are differences, but I feel like the balance is still really good because you have to consider every single class. Like, well, this actually has this tool,
Right.
So if we can make use of this tool, this actually is better than this other class. So there is no strict worst healer right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about when we were talking when the class balance episode, or the class interview episode with Ian Hazakostas and Chris Zerhut was a couple weeks ago. We had commented that healers all feel like they're a team now, and they can all help each other out in a way. There's not like Discipline Priests and every hero trying to catch up to them, which feels really good. And by your testament, I guess it does feel really good. You guys can like switch out different healers based on the fight, and they all feel worth it.
Yeah. So far it was kind of tricky for the first tier because, well, gear is an issue, and you like your alts will have heroic gear only, so they really have to shine on a specific fight for you to bring some other class there. But I think with Blackrock Foundry, it might look very different. Like, you won't see the same characters on every single fight there, even though it's the same guild.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I'm interviewing you guys again when Blackrock Foundry gets cleared. Who knows? We'll have different conversations. I don't know. I'm, as a content like producer and host, like I love like how the race works out and who gets the top first. As long as it's not like a guild that I actually physically can't talk to. Like, as long as like Exorcist doesn't win and I can't speak Russian, or if a Chinese guild wins, I can't speak Mandarin or Cantonese. Like, I can't. So hopefully it's someone that I can actually talk to. But
yeah, time to take classes, man.
I know, I gotta learn another language to keep the show going.
Yeah.
So David, how about you? How about ranged DPS? How have the ranged classes felt? Because you're always competing with your other ranged buddies, even though you're a hunter specifically. How are they all panning out?
Well, in general, I I think that mages are a little bit over the top with the new buffs, and obviously them coming, the hotfixes coming in one day before Mythic starts. I'm ecstatic, man. I'm ecstatic seeing all the buffs and nerfs, of course, to the Hammam Hunter.
I'm sure you were.
But in general, I'm pretty much in the same guidelines that also was. That they're pretty decent. Like I feel like the class balance is at the best what it's been on the game. That's what I think. And obviously, some other classes have other tools, like other classes. Like even though let's say hunters doesn't do that much DPS, but at the same time we can contribute on the raids, like critical missions, what you need to be doing in order to actually crack the fight.
Right.
So
you have aspect of the fox, you have deterrence to go through different abilities, things like that. Yeah, I get what you're talking about. You have different
and
little
also
parts.
the movement. You can do really nice DPS while moving, and
true.
which is being utilized a lot in our guild. Every time there is some shitty ass job, hey Deva, do you want to do this? I really don't, but I guess I'm gonna do it anyways.
I really don't, but okay. Yeah.
But in general, I feel like the ranged DPS are at the good spot.
Okay. Now, the problem childs, I'm sure Yliajo can talk about right now. Melee DPS is a little bit different story, I think, in the terms of balancing. How is the melee classes panning out right now in Warlords, sir?
Well, I mean, it all comes to the question that why does Blizzard want to do this? I mean, like you were saying that some melee classes have their, own areas of expertise. For example, Enhancement Shaman has the Fire No AoE, like 7+ target. No, like nobody can compete with that. But it's the same thing for like Windwalker monks. They have the 2 and 3 target cleave. It's like out of this world, like compared to some of the other classes. Like for example, Enhancement Shaman is like you just want to delete your character.
No, I sat for Brackenspore. I could have almost sat for Twin Ogron. I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, but then you have these like Retribution Paladins like doing really good DPS. Then like the Fury Warrior buffs that came like one day before the Mythic Progress.
Yep.
No, Fury wasn't playable at all, and bam, it's like best warrior spec.
Yep.
And then I don't know, like I guess they want to have that, these that, you excel at some area, but then you don't do that great on the others.
Sure.
I guess they want to do that because otherwise the melee classes wouldn't be like this.
Yeah. There's just, I think the only real problem child melee class still at this moment, I guess, is Rogue and maybe Arms Warrior. Because, like, Rogues, our Rogue, for example, like on Tectus now, all he does is add duty because his damage is overall just, like, kind of okay. But is that the point of bringing a Rogue now, to have, like, the Smoke Bomb and, like, the Stun Lock, the Interrupts, like, that consistency? Is that their job now? Because usually, for a long time, Rogues have always been like this, really consistent. It was always Rogues and Mages for top-tier guilds, like the best DPS you can bring, the best utility you could bring, like the most reliable classes. Mr. Pandaria was obviously Warlock. But it feels like it's a different switch now with Rogues.
But if you think about it, can I interrupt for a second?
No, yeah, well, of course.
Like, a lot of people ask me at the stream that why do you don't have any Rogues? Rogues are not bad. But Windwalkers are just doing it better,
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Sure, if you're missing, like, let's say, raid cooldowns, you might bring Rogues. But at the same time, if you have, like, Cleave, three targets up, Windwalker monks, they're doing insane DPS.
Mm-hmm.
Rogues can't compete against that. Sure, they're doing most likely decent AoE compared to the Windwalkers. But, yeah. At least we utilize the Windwalker monks, in my opinion, the best of our abilities, just like cleaving everything, making them shine so much.
Yeah.
And the clones, they go everywhere. Mm-hmm. They don't really give a rat's ass. They just go to places.
It's interesting how that's worked out right now, and we keep seeing all these like little like tick 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 nerfs for Windwalker, but they still have so much power creep and all these like additive, just flat percentage damage buffs that they're not going to be bad unless they either A, remove one of them and retool their damage elsewhere, or, I mean, as they get gear, they're going to scale also better because a lot of classes don't have these just additive bonus damages. I don't have that. I have some extra crit on Storm Strike and a super good Flame Shock sometimes. Like, it's not, but they just have all these flat percentage bonus damage pieces, and that skyrockets their overall damage. That's how it works. So
yeah, I want to emphasize the rogue part still. That rogues
Sure.
are actually, like Deva said, they're actually not bad. It's just
Right.
rogues still have the like really really good utility and like survivability thing. Like Feint is holy shit, Feint is a really good spell.
Yep.
And then you have
OP
Cloak of
spell in
Shadows.
the game.
Yeah, and like Cloak of Shadows, like, oh, there's fire. Well, I can just stand on it and just put my cloak, and then it's like evasion. You can evasion some abilities as well, like some cleave abilities and whatnot. So like rogue is not bad. It's just that the other classes are better.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying, though. It looks like they're like more of this like weird melee utility-ish spec, which has never really been. We've used them for that before, but I don't know. They maybe a little more bump in their damage because right now I think they're just a little bit behind, but we'll have to see. Maybe they need their set bonus. I don't know. A lot of this balance right now might go out of the window completely once we have our 4 set pieces. Like the whole game changes in Blackrock Foundry. That's again why that's the real race. There's so much changing. So much changing. So we talked a little bit about Mr. Pandaria already and how you guys swapped around like that. I put that at the beginning of the show. So this comes to a question now. One of our first questions in the show is going to be from Villadug on Twitter. Has 2 questions. How relevant were the raid compositions that you chose for each fight? And how often does any raider have to actually switch a spec or even a character to suit the needs of a mythic encounter? Who wants to take this first?
I can take this one.
Sure.
So, well, the composition is actually extremely relevant, but, well, the most direct example is, of course, Highmaul, that we actually struggled on Butcher because of our raid comp. Like, we didn't... when we made our raid comp during the beta and, of course, after the latest hotfixes,
right.
we thought that, what gives us the best advantage? And that means what is going to be the most difficult fight there? Of course, it's the last fight, usually, at least. So now we built our composition around that, and it kind of told us that, well, it might not be good for other bosses. Well, Windwalker monks, they were really good in single targets, but after those 5%, 5%, 5% nerfs, they weren't terribly good anymore. They were okay, of course, and it didn't like stop us from killing the Butcher. But the comp matters a lot, and that's, I think, one of the main reasons we got this huge advantage from Imperator.
Yeah.
Just because we had perfected our comp for it, we took monks because of it, we took priests because of it, we took classes that just performed really well.
Maybe?
yeah.
Yeah.
And of course,
the whole instance just for their last boss.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really true. But also because of it being Highmaul, and it's the first raid of the instance of the expansion. Sorry, we couldn't really bring other classes as well. We would have wanted to. Sometimes we figured that, wait, our healing composition isn't the best for this boss. Can we bring an alt healer? But no, we need the gear for it.
Yeah.
You will see a lot more of it once the expansion progresses towards the later raids and so on. But so far, no.
Yeah. Makes sense to me. That doesn't sound too terrible. I mean, that's what I bet your healer stuff like that, because you kind of swap different ones in. But at a certain point, an alt to bring in is only going to have, like almost 20 eye levels less than your main. So it comes to a point of like literally throughput at that moment. So
and we actually had this
tried.
Yeah, go on.
We actually tried Yasran's monk healer on Margok, because our healers were like, why the hell don't we have healer monk? It would be so great on this fight. Then Yasrun pulls out the healer monk on that fight, and he got insta-killed by the rat. I'm like, okay, we're done. We're done. We can't do this.
Why did he get insta-killed? What happened? What?
His gear.
Because he doesn't any
his
gear.
gear, because of like his HP? Oh, no.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing, too. Now, stamina is actually like this hidden, like, sneaky bastard now. Because stamina is a higher ratio. You get more per point of stamina than you did in Mists. So it's actually a funny moment we had we were progressing on Technus on Friday, and both myself and our elemental shaman have like 15 to 18k less than anyone else in the raid, and we both barely died with cooldowns to the first big upheaval. And our raid leader was like, shamans and their low HP? What is this game? We've had low HP though forever. I don't understand it. Like, same eye level hunter has 20k more HP than me. I don't. Do you have the same? Like, why is that?
It should be other way around, since Hunter's range class and you're melee.
Yeah.
So some melee prowess, man.
Blizzard, you heard right there. More HP on Shaman. Yeah, at least enhancement. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's interesting. So, anything else on the those questions? There was what other part of it? I missed one part of it. And then
there was the
how often does any
spec
raid member
was, right?
switch specs or even characters? Yeah. So did that happen very much for you guys? Was that like a maybe specs, but like which specs in general maybe that you saw a lot of?
Did you try
Well-
survival in Margok? Or not Margok, but Korag, Deva? Or was it one
no,
hunter? That's right.
No, we had Lumo doing that. We were thinking about going 2 hunters on survival, but we made some other changes on the comp so we could actually get more magic damage, and therefore one of the hunters needed to stay as a physical DPS. So like you need to have physical DPS to actually kill the boss. That's just the case.
Right.
And you need to have good balance of magical DPS and physical DPS. So therefore, we only had Lumu going survival, and I was staying as a marks.
Yeah, that's an interesting fight when I think every guild gets there on Mythic to balance their raid around this physical and magic mechanic. Because I was taking the shield down's important because the soft enrage of the orbs falling from the ceiling and needing people to soak them. But if you don't have physical damage, you only get so much DPS in him on him when he recharges the shield, so having enough physical to wheel him down over the course of the fight. Yeah. That could be a different one that you saw. Anything else come to mind about you guys like switching specs a lot? I mean, for certain classes, like, Ellie's not going to change classes or specs, I guess. Did you ever play your rogue for progression or always in shaman?
No, I was Shaman all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that switching specs is very common for classes that have multiple DPS specs or multiple healing specs. Well, not in this case, but like mages are expected to switch specs all the time. But these major changes, like a healer going DPS, of course, you need one player that can DPS or heal depending on the encounter. But outside of those, like nothing major. We did try that Jazarum's Monk, and we did try a Shaman on Butcher, but that gear just got in the way both times.
And I wanted to go for BM on the last boss since I saw the ads on the last phase. They didn't let me. God damn it.
Couldn't do BM cleave on the last boss, Deva?
Yeah,
Maybe on your
I
farm-
tried, man.
maybe on your
I tried
farm
my
run.
best. They're like, nope, that's not happening.
Would it?
God damn it.
Is the BM AoE cleave pretty strong? I mean, is it? I would assume it's also better than marksman, but like how is it? Pretty good?
Well, I haven't played BM that much, but it's definitely best AoE spec, or it was before the buffs and whatnot. So I still think that it's best AoE DPS spec for hunters, but I haven't really had a big chance of playing BM. I guess once we start to doing CMs, I'm gonna go for BM. Like BMs for challenge modes obviously are going for BM because of the massive cleave.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So again, the comp matters, but I guess at a certain point right now in Highmaul, you only have such a test bed for it. When you get to Blackrock Foundry, you guys will have mythic gear on your alt. Like you'll have a healer or 2 or 3 geared up so you can actually do Blackrock. So it'll be a different race at that point. Again, another reason why it's the real race, as it were, quote unquote #real race, because you can change so much, like every boss fight, because you'll have an army of alts that are not, in heroic gear. They're in Mythic Highmaul. So, yeah, that'll be interesting when we get there. Middle of February, though. Do you guys, speaking of side note, are you guys okay with it middle of February? We don't have a date yet, but is that actually good?
I don't care. My boss gave me 2 weeks off already, so bring it on.
I'm not going to bring up that whole holiday thing. We talked about that in the preamble. No. You damn European raiders. Your time off from work.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't really care like when exactly it is, but I just like to know when so I can prepare for it.
Right.
Currently, we don't know the exact date, so we're just kind of guessing. Like, I guess it's early February, mid-February. We don't know.
Right.
It would be just nice to know like when exactly, so we can make the preparations necessary and so on.
Well, I tried to get it out of Watcher 2 Sundays ago to give us a date, but I was told not to ask about it because I think they're probably going to gauge it upon how much Highmaul is cleared. They probably have a couple Sundays in February like slated that they can release it here. They want to see enough people, I think, clear enough Highmaul before they drop it, because they don't want what happened going from Heart of Fear to Terrace, where you're like, I just killed Empress and oh my gosh, the new raid's open, because it was only like 4 weeks between that. Matt, he doesn't want that again. That's why we're going for like the 10 to 8 week mark after, which yeah. It's a lot more progression time spread out over longer periods of time for you guys, but should be good. I think.
I would personally prefer to have like this one intense period instead of 2 spread out, especially now that Highmaul turned out to be this short.
Right.
But I guess it's okay. I don't have too much to complain about it.
Right. Sure. That's fair enough. Okay. Nice little bit of here. I'm going to bring up a bit of a controversial topic. I'm sure you're all ready to hear about this. And it's been going around everywhere. Even Convert to Raid was talking about earlier today, too. And Twitter, I lost Twitter followers talking about this thing, trying to get information about what people think. The black market auction house. Dun, dun, dun.
The elephant in the room.
Yes. Yeah. So, to set the record straight, for Paragon, how much BMAH rating via how many items did you guys have from Blackrock Foundry from the BMAH when you guys killed Margok?
That is actually a good question. I'm not sure if he had 3 Foundry items. We had 3 in total, but were they actually Blackrock Foundry gear? At least I got the boots as Mythic Warlords. It's only cost me like 1 million.
Oh,
yeah, after that I've been like scrapping every single gray item that I can find in the instance and carrying it on the vendor and stuff like that, Like you gotta start somewhere to pulling the monies back, so yeah. But I'm not actually sure were they Foundry items. At least one. We got at least one, which is in my character. I mean, do you guys remember? Were they actually Black Foundry?
All of the items we got from the black market were Foundry items, and we got
wrists
and Luna's wrist as well. Those 3 items we had for Margok.
But yeah, Luna's wrist. We only got that to the last 2 bosses.
Yeah.
So again, but only 3. So why not 78?
We're poor, sorry.
Would you like to donate?
No, you're not. Would you like to donate? Well, no, it's because EU and US versions of the game can't do that. That's the problem here. Before chat room freaks out, yes, there's no problem. I think if it's in the game and everyone has access to it on the same playing field, the BMAH, sure, whatever. I don't agree that you should be able to buy power from a raid instance that doesn't exist for 2 more months. Personally, if you can get Mythic Highmaul when Mythic Highmaul is out, sure, why not? But Mythic Blackrock Foundry, especially Mythic Blackrock Foundry Warforged gear before the instance is even available, kind of dumb. And the issue here is other regions of the world don't have the same issue with the gold cap on transfers and the transfer lockout. That's why it's easier for other parts of the world to get more BMAH items. US and EU really can't do that. So that's the problem here. But it happened in Mists, as you guys told me in the preamble. It was the same thing in Mists, right?
Yeah. You'd get the terrace loot already before the first instance was open.
Yeah, I'm really not sure why that's a thing. I mean, people like the devil's advocate here is that it helps top guilds get rid of all their gold, but they're going to have it anyway, and directly buying power and abusing server transfers just feels kind of gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
if you can actually have over 40 mythic items before the instance even opens, that's just like trivializing the whole goddamn content. Yeah, I don't know. Just in my opinion, it's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, especially now with the single... This wasn't as much of a big deal to talk about in Mist because of 10-25 man, the different paradigms of raiding. But now it's a single ladder. Mythic 20 man, period. And if you're raiding Mythic 20 man in Highmaul with gear 2 months in advance that doesn't exist for anyone else just because you've got either lucky drops on your BMAH or you're abusing server transfers, that isn't fair race. That's having an extra turbo in your car, or in this case, 78 extra turbos in your car when you guys only had 3. Now, of course, the flip side to that, of course, and praise to you both and everyone in Paragon right now and the other guilds that have beaten that curve, is that you beat the guilds that bought tons of them without as many. So, I mean, you know? So,
Golf clap.
the golf clap, yeah. Yeah. So do you guys all kind of unanimously agree that, yeah, exactly, that you shouldn't be able to buy BMAH gear that's beyond the tier that's available?
No way.
Yeah, it would be a lot cleaner race if we would get only the same tier items. But well, that's up to Blizzard to do.
Yeah.
I don't think Star Wars should be punished because the chance has been given to them. It should be Blizzard who should just do the change and change the system, and then everyone would be much happier.
Yeah. It's just like, I mean, a softer argument we had that kind of ties into the BMAH rating is the garrison rating, that you guys could have gotten Mythic loot from your garrison before Mythic opened. I mean, you could have gotten your Mythic quest to proc on Tuesday when Heroic opened. You just got to go in there and kill enough Heroic bosses to Mythic proc in your garrison to get Mythic loot in your garrison mission, which is a small factor, but you could still do it.
Yeah, and you need to like think about how much effort do you actually need to put on that. All the min-maxing that you get all the right followers with right skill sets. Then you need to like, I don't know, that's just like, dude. The time sink was real.
Yeah. No, and that's a true thing too. I mean, you can go into that argument about like how that's like another additive problem or hurdle to counter as being this top of the world rating, which is fine, but directly just like I'm fine with the garrison issue, even though when we interviewed Ian Zakostas back in February, they had said that garrisons would not be required for in-game rating. Now, of course, the whole like 1 item is not going to make you kill Margok, but 20 items is definitely a power spike across your raid. There's no doubt about that. So
look at the subscriber though.
Oh no! What happened? Oh!
The sub name.
David takes shirt off. Welcome to the raid group. That's the first time I've ever talked about someone on the show, but I think that's appropriate. Appreciated. Thank you so much. So anything else on the Mythic rate you want to talk about before we go into a little breaky poo? I kind of want to get down to the race to world first talk. Anything else? Classes, specs, any comments you want to go with on the Mythic race? Proclamations for Blackrock Foundry, Paragon World First again? I mean, anything?
Well, that's like should be taken as an obvious fact, but like.
Oh! Okay.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
But yeah, I don't know.
We will push hard for Blackrock Rounded, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get into a little more about Mythic and Highmaul and how it differs from Blackrock Foundry in a minute, but okay, I'll take a moment then. Take a moment and tell chat room about some awesome things behind the scenes, some communities that you may not have heard about, and part of my overlay is breaking. Hold on one moment. Okay, we're good. But if you guys have not seen, there's another interview up on Paragon's website with a couple of their raiders. I think it's only, actually, is the interview only you, Alzu, or is there more interviews?
No, there is currently me and Lynn, our disciplined
yes.
healer, and there should be more to come in some days.
And that's the website is paragon.fi, correct?
Correct.
Right. So go check out Paragon's website for more interviews with them, of course. And there's a big interview, actually, right over here on manaflask.com. Manaflask was doing some awesome coverage of the race with like everyone in the world, with confirming timestamps and just doing another way to confirm live, because WoW Progress has to update and, you know, pull the server and stuff like that. So right down here, though, if you go to manaflask.com, there it is. There's a Mythic Highmaul Down World First interview with Paragon with a bunch of their raiders. Right down here, you can go read that through. The link for Manaflask is right down below the stream, actually. And we were talking a little bit about rogues earlier. To get through this tumultuous time with rogues, currently there's an awesome community that you may not have heard about for rogues. It is called ravenholt.net. There are some amazing rogues putting together guides, blog posts, the round tables they have here. There is an IRC channel for them, a direct link to Shadowcraft, and forums on ravenholt.net. Bookmark that one. Go there if you're a rogue or an aspiring rogue or want to learn more about where you guys at right now and correspond with some of the best rogues in the community. Super, super awesome. And if you are new to the show, of course, all of our information can be found on FinalBoss.tv. Link again down below the stream. All of our past episodes are on our website. Additional information about how to support the show is also right here on the front page of the site. And then if you go down here to the episodes link or you go to our YouTube, all of our past shows are right there. We also do go to a podcast-only version if you want to go on iTunes or Stitcher to listen to the audio-only version of the show. That all happens right there if you want to ask questions for coming up episodes or if you want to be a guest on the show. All right here on the website. Link down below the stream. Right down there. And a huge project just released called On My Own, which is a music video parody on the YouTube. And a little trailer popped up for a big next huge crazy year-plus project that I'll be working on with Silver Latomi and Nobble the Noble. If you haven't seen it right now, here's the trailer live on the show.
Have you ever wanted to rewrite history? To go back, fix mistakes, do it better? What if it were possible to shape and mold time as you would a ball of clay? What possibilities await? What new worlds could we create?
That right there is the teaser trailer for the upcoming Project War Crimes based on the novelization by Christy Golden, the latest novel to come out for World of Warcraft. It's going to be a huge year-plus long project. Turn this into a 10-part machinima for you guys. If you want to be involved in some way, if you're a 2D artist, digital artist, 3D modeler, craziness with Maya, 3ds Max, or what have you, or you want to be an aspiring voice actor, send an email to finalbosswow@gmail.com. Super easy to be part of the project. It's a big community. Oops, wrong button. Big community project that we need some help with, of course. There's plenty of people that want to be a part of it already, but hey, who knows? We could have you doing something with the huge project. So send us an email right there. Super easy. And to get back into the show, Alrighty. Okay. Boys, race to world first for at least Mythic Highmaul, which is not the real race, right? Quote unquote. So, with the mindset that you guys had and the focus you guys came in from Mr. Pandaria, how many normal and heroic clears did you guys do to prepare in Highmaul? How many split raids?
We had at least 5 heroic raids.
Yeah, 5.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. And then did you do like one normal just to like see, or did you not even do any normal runs? Did you go right from the blue gear to heroics?
No,
we did a normal run. We did a normal run and then heroic run
Okay.
first.
But you
So we
didn't
get
actually...
like some gear.
Yeah, well, you didn't do like 5 normal and then 5 heroic, right? Or did you do 5 heroic, 5 normal?
We
I
did the
don't
normals
remember
first.
how many normals we did.
You don't even
We did.
remember?
We did 5 days. First go to normal, then go to heroic on the first week, and then the second week when Mythic opened, we just went to the heroics and then straight to Mythic afterwards.
Oh, wow. Okay. What other like preparations did you guys do as a guild to get ready for this? Like, you want to walk us through like the 2 weeks before Highmaul even opened, like after launch? Like, what did you guys do? And we'll go over to Yliajo. What did you guys do? How'd that work out for you guys? Give us a walkthrough.
Walkthrough.
Yeah, a
Well-
walkthrough. How much work did it
Well-
take to prep the guild for this?
Well, do you want me to like go with the beta and whatnot as well? I guess that needs to be done.
Yeah, go for
mean-
it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when beta came, like we were already there testing stuff, and we assigned like a couple of people to test that class and that spec, and so on and so forth. And then obviously when normal raids began, we were doing that as well. So it just went all the testing basically. Then what would be good here, and what would be good there, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
And that's basically what in beta. And then we did some dummy testing at the end of the beta, so we knew that what kind of DPS could like these classes and these specs do.
Okay. How
Like,
much?
even though everybody had simulation craft, but we just wanted to see on our own that we've been proven that simulation craft tends to be wrong quite a bit of times.
A little bit.
Yep.
Sometimes. Not to discredit Simulation Craft and those that do work on it, but a lot of the modules don't always get updated really quickly because they're done by people. So that's true. Did you guys test everything on beta, Alzu? Like every single boss testing that was alive? Did you test all of them?
Well, as a guild, yes, but
Right.
I unfortunately had to miss one of them.
Oh
But,
no! Fired.
Well, I can't help it if a friggin' lightning just strikes right next to my house and like destroys my internet.
Right.
Like that was a sad day.
Wait. Are you the Flash?
No.
Oh,
No.
sadly.
But like I had missed one testing for it. But as a guild, yes, we did test out everything, all the classes and all the healing, and try to get a good general overlook about everything that's coming up. And we didn't all test the garrisons, but some of us did, and they helped us to like then play the garrison game later on.
Yeah, the Garrison game. That's like the first raid in WoW, actually, for Warlords, was the Garrisons. Like, yeah, that was like a raid itself. Exactly.
Oh, then the professions actually, that was a big thing.
Ooh,
because there
okay,
was
yeah.
a lot of confusion about that and what kind of gear you could get from it, and in what time period. Because that, like, when you need to like have like, okay, you need to actually have like, if you were like a leather or a mail armor class, you actually needed like 3 different leatherworking stuff on your alts to do
Yep.
all your stuff like on your own.
Yep.
Unless there were people that okay, they actually got their 90 Savage Bloods. They had to buy every single one of them, and that costs a lot of money.
No, absolutely.
Then we had like people that with the 5 barns, and they were like doing Savage Bloods and whatnot.
Yep.
So we got our craftable gear, but that was like a lot of work
I mean, yeah, in
some
a
people.
small way,
for
I
all the people.
yeah, I made a 3/3x for my alt, so I got super lucky on our first clear, and I actually have better weapons on my Shaman than you do. Whatever. Yeah.
you.
Oh, okay. But no, it takes a lot to make a crafted 3/3 really fast. And right now, you're kind of like, yeah, I'll make one sort of eventually. But if you wanted one before the raids came out, you need an entire account of professions at like level 2. Yeah, to go all this stuff. It's crazy. How about I guess the Savage Blood comment you went through. Did you guys all like either farm or buy tons of Savage Bloods to make gear? David, did you do any of that stuff?
Yep, even though I was busy as hell at the work, but like I needed to burn so much gold. It's unreal. Like I got the barn really late because I didn't really have the time to play the alts and do the like trapping and all that. What you needed to be doing in order to get the plots for yourself. So therefore, I needed to buy them from auction house, and in the beginning, the plots were actually costing 5k a piece. And I bought around 30 with 5k. Then it got cheaper. I got a couple of friends helping me out, so they were sending all of their plots for me for let's say 2.5k, which is really nice of them to helping me out. But dude, I never been this poor in this game. Like,
yeah, all right.
Even though yeah, I don't know. I thought that I had enough gold when I came to this expansion, but man,
nope.
Oh man, if I would have known this, I would have farmed so much more gold.
Oof. Yeah, I know, right? That's what you're saying. So you can donate gold to Paragon, right? To fund. No.
Yeah. Some guy actually donated me like 400k on a stream. I'm like, dude, is this real life?
Wow. There you go.
Shout out to that guy.
I don't know.
Shout out to that guy in particular. Exactly.
Yeah. Sold out to Angel.
Right. How about these new things that have cropped up? There are the incentivization for the call to arms for like healers and tanks, normally for dungeons or for doing LFR. Augment runes that are the 50 int strength or agility that stack with flasks and food. Did you guys know about and or abuse them? Not abuse, but use the hell out of them for progression? Or no? How'd that work? Yliajo, how did you guys do that?
Can you repeat that? I was doing the chat thing.
Oh no, I was saying, did you guys, I know you commented on this in the preamble, did you guys use a ton of augment runes for progression?
Oh, yeah, those. No, we actually didn't. Can you imagine that or not? But, well, we didn't have, like, those runes were costing like 2k a pop.
Right.
You know? That was a lot. And, well, when we killed Imperator Margok, I know that Seita went like, oh, you go get the runes no matter what they cost. And we bought like, 2.5k runes from the auction house. We made somebody happy.
Yeah, I think they'll probably play a bit more of a part in Foundry. By then, they'll just be like all over the place because LFR obviously didn't come out until Mythic was available, but you can get it in the dungeon bags. But, yeah, I don't know. They're a nice little bump. I mean, 50 of a stat is a big deal. So
yeah, it's almost like 2 enchants.
Yeah.
For a ring, like it's nothing to like. Okay, one rune in a raid doesn't really make a difference. But if you have 20 of them, again, like that's what a lot of primary stat anyway. So it's something to really take in consideration, especially now I think they're like 70 gold each in our realm right now.
Right.
So they're not that much, and now that the supply also increased a lot. Like we also had the issue for Butcher, like we just didn't have the runes in the auction house we wanted. Like yeah, I think for strength there was plenty, but for intellect there just wasn't any to buy. But
yeah.
But for Foundry, I think that the use, whatever, will be a lot more common than in Highmaul.
Yeah, I think they're definitely a nice little thing. I don't know if it's, I mean, it's definitely a little bit of an incentive, of course. I don't know if it's easier just to run the dungeons and get the bags, send them to your main so they pop the stat you need, or buying them off the auction house. I guess each server will have their own sort of formula for this, and each person will. But, yeah, I guess they're kind of nice. It's an extra little something that...
yeah, I kind of love that as a hunter, since you never have call to arms for the DPS, so good luck with that.
Yeah,
well, now you can do the looking for raid, though, to get the runes.
It's true, and LFR, if you guys have not actually done it, it is pretty much easier than Heroic Dungeons. It is really easy. So, yeah. How about, how many alts do you guys have? So you guys did 5. Did you all have extra alts for like just farming your garrisons, or no? Just like have the 5, that was it? Could you only focus on 5? Did you do...
I only actually had 4.
Oh,
so I was kind of slacking.
Deva slacking off? Only 4, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Did you roll every healer, Alzu?
Actually, no, because, well, I was kind of busy as well with school and all during the leveling and gearing period. And I noticed that I have this Druid already at level 90. that is Horde, and then I have the Shaman, level 90, really bad gear, and Alliance, wrong realm. I really didn't want to use money to like transfer it or level a completely new Shaman, so I just figured that, okay, I'll just level the Druid. It's only going to be used for heroics anyways. So then I ended up having all the other healers but the Shaman. No, I don't mean to like say that I don't want to play a Shaman, but it just fit that a lot better.
That's fair enough. Gotcha. And Yuli, did you have just 5 different? What kind of melee classes did you all roll? Were they all melee, or did you roll like some range too for your DPS ults?
Well, I have my Enhancement Shaman, I have my Rogue, I have a Monk, and a Hunter. But Hunter is not ranged. It's a special class.
Oh,
can do everything.
Old school survival, right? Yeah, lacerate.
I mean, it can shoot while moving. It's not ranged.
Right. Yeah.
Basically,
true.
I mean, you are at the range, but you can do all the stuff you can do as a melee.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I have a Warlock, although I don't like him that much.
Oh. Do you, as a melee mindset, when you play a range, do you feel weird? Because I feel weird.
Yeah.
Shadow Priest.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm a
like, what am I
melee player.
doing? What am I so far away? What am I doing? Yeah.
It's like, what? It's the boss is over there. How can I hit it? Like,
Oh, right. Right. So, to move on to the Highmaul Mythic specifically. So, this is the first true, because we had Mythic Siege of Orgrimmar, right? You know, whatever. So how's the first true 20-player Mythic endgame raid feel, like, overall? What did you guys think of the raid itself? Deva, we'll go to you first. You can, like, rank it against other raids if you want to, or just, like, a certain boss that you really liked, but how's Highmaul feeling for you?
Well, I've always liked like atmosphere in the instances and ambience, like all the small details. Like, I'm talking about the graphics. I liked Highmaul. It was really nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't like at Highmaul, like 5 of the bosses were absolutely too easy.
Oh.
Like, I really liked, for some reason, I can't even explain it to myself, that why did I actually like Brakenspore, but I just love that fight. I don't understand why, but somehow it just intrigues me. I don't know. And the last boss, well, in my opinion, even though some people said that, it wasn't that good.
Is that what they said?
But
right.
In my opinion, there is a lot of things you need to do as a hunter, at least, and like, there is a lot of stuff that can pretty much kill you, and you still need to play good to be able to defeat the boss. So it's not like it's overrun, and well, I would say
not like that was a shot. That was firing a shot right there. I got you. Overrun.
But
is
I would rate the instance like let's say top 4, top 5 maybe on the WoW instances.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So it's in my opinion, it was good instance.
Okay.
Even though the early bosses were too easy, just too easy.
Gotcha. Yili, you have a different opinion, it looks like. What are your thoughts on?
I mean, okay, let's start it. Like, Highmaul was not bad, not by far. Like, it was really good, like, in my opinion as well. But I don't know, I wouldn't like place it maybe that high. I mean, obviously it's better than Dragon Soul, but
I hope so.
yeah, but like,
if you're gonna do worse than Dragon Soul, we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, we're done.
Gotta quit.
Gotta quit. Just absolutely. I don't think anyone is gonna be like, Dragon Soul was my favorite raid of all time. I loved it so much.
No one ever.
Exactly. So
now there's this one guy in chat like, this was actually my favorite raid.
Well, there's the door. There's the door. Yeah, right.
But I mean, I feel like the Highmaul is like an entrance, instance. Kind of like the Mogushan Waltz, kind of.
Of course. I mean, it is 10
But it
levels
was
lower.
way better than Mogushan Waltz.
Yeah, but like Mogushan Waltz wasn't that bad either. Like I agree with you. Like, Highmaul was a good instance in my opinion. Some of the bosses were a bit too easy, I would say. But yeah, it's like overall, Imperators, like Imperator Margok, like that's a good fight in my opinion, like a decent fight.
There's
With the
Twitch
last phase,
admin saying
obviously,
that
added.
Dragon Soul was his favorite instance.
Yeah, there's tons of people that are just trolling
Show
now.
him the door, boys. Carry him out from this room.
Carry him out. Yeah. Yeah. How about from healing and stuff, Alzu? Interesting mechanics for healers, or just like spam for days now because healing is sort of like a battle against hotbars more than it ever was before? How did it feel for a healing perspective?
Well, it's actually kind of hard to evaluate the rate here itself because, well, healing got so much different than in last expansion.
Right.
Last expansion, you just mash your keys and heals happen. But now you actually need to think how to save your mana and who to heal to actually be effective. So it's kind of hard to say mechanic-wise because everyone's still kind of getting used to it. But like, I didn't have any issues with the instance. Like, well, to be honest, I'm kind of the guy who likes every single instance. Like, if you ask me, Dragon Soul was an okay instance. Like, it wasn't my favorite, but I don't have any big complaints. But like, Highmaul with it didn't have too many like different mechanics. There was of course this healing absorbs. You need to heal through like this quick damage, then this slow damage, all kind of damage you need to heal. But the most interesting thing was actually, well, on Mythic Margok, the final phase where you actually have to heal this one guy to stack an absorb shield on everyone else. That was actually, it was refreshing, even though it was really simple in the end how to approach that mechanic.
Interesting.
So I liked it. I liked it overall. I just actually want some kind of UI support from Blizzard in terms of like Bracken Spore, like those mushrooms. They're so annoying to heal when they're not in your raid frames.
Yeah.
Slots for them, please.
Would that... I was wondering about that too, because like when ads pop up on Tectus, all the shards, like most of them get a player frame and they pop up on the side of your screen, depending on how your UI works. But would that make Bracken Spore too easy if like the mushroom just popped up as a health bar? But I do wonder about that. Because some fights do get that, and some fights don't get that treatment. I wonder. It's a good point you brought that up, though. I'm sure all our heroes right now are going like, please. But, I mean, you can make macros to target them, of course, but
Yeah, but I feel like integrating them to their health bar to the raid frames would be the only viable solution in the end. Because, well, they show up in the boss frames, and I really didn't find it nice healing it from them. So I just kind of did this weird hybrid where I like target them, and then I'm like, wait, I need to target now to heal, because I'm so used to mouse over healing. But yeah, it's okay when it's on these early bosses. Like if it was Margok that had this kind of mechanic, I would have definitely not liked it.
yeah. Fair enough. Anything you guys want to bring up that's like, you know, the ugly of Highmaul, or there are parts of it where you were just like, I mean, I guess you guys thought that the initial bosses were kind of easy. Not to skip ahead on the notes, but like anything that was like just like really not good in the instance so far. I mean, you guys struggled on Butcher, but that wasn't because of an issue. Do you think that it was... Are there parts of encounters that are like, meh, that could have been better? Anything that's particular? I'll go with you first, Illy. What do you think?
Korag. I would say that's interesting boss because it depends on your like classes. On like depending on what kind of a raid comp you have, it might be some part of that fight can be difficult because of just your raid comp. Doesn't actually have anything to do with your gear or like players or whatnot. But
Right.
it's like that's I felt like that's a special fight there because well, I mean I was playing Enhancement there, and then it's like, okay, we need more damage on the mind controlled guys. It's like, well, I can push this one button and auto attack. Do I have to do that? It's like, yes. And I just go and push one button and just wait for like 6 seconds and then push that again.
Yeah.
That you had to do that. But it was like when you have like 50% or your like magical damage, it's like kind of like Assassination Rogue would be.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Fair enough. Anything from you, Deva? Any ugly parts of Highmaul for Hunter, maybe?
Well, Hunters do good on every single fight. Like, you're such a... Well, I mean, seriously, you're such a versatility class. You can do pretty much everything. I mean, when it comes to pure damage, of course, you're not going to sign, but what would I say? Bracken Spore, I think It's back to Paragon Spore, man. I think Hunters, it was so much fun. I was actually having so much fun doing the flamer thingy. And
Yeah.
like I knew that I'm doing like really good. I'm doing like good DPS. I'm playing the mechanics. I'm killing all the ads. I'm pretty much having my hands full. Like that's what I like about playing Progress. That you actually play the game. You just don't find the best bot on the like boss platform. You root there, do your perfect rotation. That's in my opinion super boring. But once you get into the progress, you just need to play the mechanics because your gear is not carrying you through the mechanics. So, in my opinion, that's fun. But the ugly thing is, I would say Tectus maybe.
Ah.
The camera.
There it is.
That's
Yeah.
I wanted
I just
something
Everybody
to
agrees.
hate that when you can't like see properly. It's just like
Yeah.
somebody's coming next to you, poking you eye into your eye with a finger. It's just like annoying.
Is that what it is?
It's just fun to smack somebody,
Ah.
and nobody's next to you, so you can't really hit anybody. So frustrating, man.
Yeah.
But other than that, I did like the second last boss. I never remember his name for some
Correct.
reason,
Correct.
but
Correct.
yeah, that guy. That was actually the first difficult boss that we encountered. Well, I wouldn't say difficult, but challenging, so to speak, because you needed to find the exact amount of physical DPS and magical DPS required to be able to do that, and at the same time you needed to figure out that who is actually gonna break the mind controls, since magic DPS guys couldn't really do that. There's
Nope.
the absorption skills.
Yeah. It's interesting. But yeah, you brought up the camera angles on Tectus. Now, we talked about this in the preamble. I don't know. It's definitely not part of the fight as a mechanic of, like, this makes it more difficult. Because people could think about it is, but I don't think they planned it that way. And I always wondered, back in beta, why didn't they make this the small rock walls, the wall around the room? Because then you could still see over them. But no, they're the giant ones that break your camera.
Yep, and they even promised on Twitter that we're gonna make some technical jibba to make it better, you know,
Oh, really?
so you can actually see something. But in live, to our surprise, catchy shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. Now, was that how, from another range perspective too, Alzu? Did you have issues with that too? Did you play like Legend of Zelda style, like straight down on the field, or did you play like side view of yourself? Like, how does that work? I don't obviously.
No.
Yuli and I are in melee. We don't have to worry about it. We're fine.
Well, I prefer the bird's eye view, so I just popped the camera right on top of me, so I could see like when those barrages came. Like with add-ons, of course, the character says something, so I can see immediately. Oh, barrages are coming because someone is saying it. So that's why I preferred it. And to be honest, I didn't need to see the boss as a healer. I just needed my raid frames and see below my feet, so I didn't stand in shit.
Basically.
So
Yeah, it's really easy to target the guy, the small ass.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
First of all, the tank is tracking them on the other side of the room, and you are supposed to stay right next to the wall, so we have maximum amount of space. And then they're yelling like, "Yeah, kill the small ass." Yeah, it would be really easy to kill him if you would be on the range of you. Maybe you'd see the nameplate. That would be 5 out of 5, boys. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Just raging at the range DPS. That why are you slacking, boys?
Yeah.
We're trying.
That's an
No, you ain't.
interesting. It's a very interesting little bit of that fight, having like the LOS and fight the fight at the same time. But you know, hey. So we were talking about this too. You guys had a little bit of story you wanted to talk about the first time you got to the special phase in Margok. If you want to, I think Deva will probably tell the story the best, and you guys can kind of go off that. What happened the first time that you thought you killed Imperator Margok, and then you actually didn't kill him?
Oh yeah. So we actually didn't even have that great pull on the phase 4. Phase 3. We had people dead and whatnot, and we were actually just like we were getting really excited that are we actually doing it? Are we taking the throne back, boys? And then suddenly we were like yelling like apes, and boom. There it comes, like 40 ads swarming all around the room. And we were actually so happy that like we actually thought that it was the RP, man. It was the RP that it's like some kind of sick joke that the ads are coming and killing the Margok. But on our surprise, they started to attack us. And we were like, oh, the boss is going still down. Just a couple of %, boys. Let's just do this and get the loot. And then Chokal activated. We were like, okay. Like, that was actually the first time in... I don't even remember for how long, but I was actually legitimately surprised that we just needed to kill another boss after that. And after that, we were like, oh yeah. Now we need to figure out the last phase, and nobody had any idea about the abilities or what the boss does. We were like, okay.
There's
done.
no hint of him in the dungeon journal or anything. Nothing. They kept it under wraps so well. So
Yeah.
Everybody was shouting.
I'm so proud of him, to be honest.
yeah.
Everybody was shouting like RP loot when Chokal was coming there and casting like spells, because he wasn't activated yet. He was like doing RP stuff and casting stuff, like killing Imperator.
But then as I said, he was like, "Sup, nerds?" And he was like, "Yeah." How much HP does he have, by the way?
Like 56 minutes. His HP is like exactly like one of the phases.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add to that story? I mean, that sounds amazing in my opinion, because you're just like, you're getting there. It's already like 15 minutes into the fight. You're just like, oh, it's that's it. And then yeah, Cho'Gall walks in.
Yeah.
It's like,
so pretty much we had 2 nerd screams for the
nerd
boss.
screams. Yeah.
Yep. That's the first though.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember myself being at the edge where the ad spawn, and I was still trying to like my best to heal, like keep us alive, and I'm looking at my like behind my back, and wait, there's some ad spawning. Like, wait, what are they doing? Wait, what is happening? And then the panic rolls in. That wait a minute, this isn't right.
Yeah. That's one thing that no one else is really gonna feel. I guess the couple of top guilds that really got there first, obviously, will notice that. But after like the video comes out, everyone knows now that there's Cho'Gall pops up. It's like, what's up? Then we'll prepare for it. Now, like, we'll know what's gonna happen. But you guys literally got, not duped and tricked, but like that only you guys will feel that once for that fight, which is
that's true,
pretty cool. Honestly, that's really cool, because everyone knew Raw-Den was gonna happen. Like they gave the game away. When you knew Raw-Den was gonna be a thing. If they never told anybody about Raw-Den and you wasn't in the dungeon journal, and then like you kill Lei Shan, and then it cuts to the cutscene of the room opening up, you've been like, oh. But no, we knew it was happening. But this is the first time in a while, like Deva said, that you were like, oh, there's another boss, guys. That's pretty awesome. But speaking of bosses, here's another controversial topic to bring up about Highmaul. There are optional bosses in Highmaul, gentlemen. Optional bosses. Or I like to call them skippable bosses, and there was some bit of drama that popped up on the forums that you guys did kill Imperator at 6 of 7 Mythic Highmaul and had to go back and kill the Butcher. So, in my opinion, that's a skippable boss, not an optional boss. Optional would be non-linear, you can go different bosses, but eventually all get to the end. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Yili, I'll go with you first. What are your thoughts on how the optional and or skippable bosses in Highmaul worked out?
Well, Butcher, obviously, it's the true last boss of Highmaul.
Oh, is it? The cook is the last boss.
I mean, it goes like Imperator, Cho'Gall, and then Butcher, That's the way it goes. No, but that people. I mean, people. I think were killing it. Like obviously, when you kill the first boss, then you basically have 4 bosses to go on to.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just choose whichever you want. And like most people, obviously, were going for the easiest, which is the twins, and then Bracken Spore, and then Tectus, and then it's like Korag most likely after that. But it's like people were like delaying Butcher because apparently it was the DPS check was hard. But I don't know, like. I guess people would like to have that you need to kill all the bosses like before you actually get to the last boss of the instance.
Right.
Imperator as well in Highmaul. And I guess that's gonna be the same thing in Blackrock Foundry, that you can't actually get to Black Hand before you kill like the other bosses.
Mm-hmm. There's some delineation in Blackrock Foundry. Like there's 2 bosses and then the 3rd boss, and then there's technically 4 bosses, or there's 2 bosses, Gruul or Gorger, and then you go to the 3rd boss. Then there's 2 that are also non-linear. I don't know if the elevator activates until both of them are dead. And you go downstairs, and then there's technically 4 bosses, but I would assume and hope that everything has to be dead before the gate opens up to go to Black Hand. We don't know yet. That's a thing. Obviously, you need to kill all those bosses to get the gear to kill the boss that no one got more than halfway done on the beta testing, which is the Iron Maidens.
That's gonna be fun.
Hopefully, there's none of this like 9 of 10 or 8 of 10, world first Black Hand, because it just feels weird, and that's not your fault. Again, you guys did nothing wrong. That's Blizzard's fault, in my opinion, that they didn't let the portal not spawn until all the first wing bosses are dead, that kind of stuff, or at least the stairway up to Korag, the shield, should not go down until everything else is destroyed. That would have solved the problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. So, yeah. Alzu, anything to add? What do you guys think of the optional or skippable bosses?
Well, I think that this might have been kind of an experimentation by Blizzard to see how it feels, but and I hope that they saw that it isn't really working out. Like there needs to be some kind of gating. Like I really like the Blackrock Foundry setting where you have to clear bosses. You can choose the order, but for the last boss you have to kill everything. Like it makes things so much clearer in terms of like who is the winner, especially.
Exactly.
And then the variation of like we can progress this or that boss next, and that adds the little spice there. Like you can see like, wow, those skills have killed that boss so many times. Maybe we should try that as well. So it actually brings some variety to it. But I feel like to be still that the world first is 7 out of 7 clear.
Sure, you gotta kill a whole instance. Now, there's always like there's the world first of a boss, but then there's the world first of the instance.
Yeah, exactly. So... And especially when Margot, he wasn't like that tight of a DPS check. The tightest by far in the instance was Butcher. So if you wouldn't count it for the world first, I feel like you wouldn't test one attribute of the raid. So you would get like not good results with that.
Yeah. All right, Deva, what's your opinion on all that stuff?
Well, in our case, it ended up working really nice. Because we pretty much tailored the whole raid comp towards the last boss. And therefore, we obviously have bad DPS against Butcher. Like, we don't have any mage. We only had 1 mage, and that was like Band-Aid mage. We didn't even mean to gear that guy, but then Hunters got nerfed, and we actually meant to have. There was, in some point in our roster, there was 4 Hunters. Me, Lumu, Yliajo, and Celi. And then we got nerfed, and mages got buffed. So... And then we decided to take the Enhancement Shaman for the last boss. Mm-hmm. And Celi pretty much geared his Hunter. And then we saw the buffs. So just decided to boost the last mage. So our comp was absolutely super bad against Butcher. So therefore, like, we knew that we could kill him, but it would take a long ass time to do that. Yeah. So we just thought that it's, like Seta said it's so boring. You actually might just go behind the sauna and shoot yourself in the head. It's so boring. Anyways, and then we went for the last boss, and actually noticed that there is no like roadblocks, like pretty much DPS checks that we need to pass, that we would actually need the gear from Butcher to be able to kill that guy. So we just pushed him more and more and more, and he finally died. And we actually managed to do that we go to Margok, take his gear, and kill the Butcher, not the other way around. So for us, it worked out really, really nicely. But for the others, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, there was some drama that came up that was like, well, you guys had Margok gear to kill Butcher, that make Butcher easier than having Butcher gear to kill Margok. But again, I don't think that really can be boiled down to there's nothing wrong that you did. That's just how the instance was let to be in that way, optional and or skippable in the weird way you could go around bosses. And then some argue that Butcher was probably way too finely tuned to be like arguably the second boss of the entire dungeon. But in your way, he's the final boss. He was the 7th boss. I guess.
I mean, like what Deva said, that Imperator Margaret, like there wasn't actually that many, DPS checks or like gear checks.
Yeah.
Like Butcher was the like really tightly tuned. That was like the the tuned fight, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
But Imperator Margaret was like do the ability, survive, and it's like 17 minutes fight. You're fine.
Yeah.
You just need to do all the abilities and the mechanics, and golden.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an execution fight. It's like an Illidan fight. It's the Blizzard loves these N-tier, long, drawn-out battles that if you can actually handle the different mechanics going on and just execute, then you just go through the fight as it's supposed to be. So, but glad that he didn't heal 4 times, right? That's pretty good. That feels pretty good. That his actual HP doesn't keep bumping up and up and up and up and up again. Oh,
Yep.
Garrosh. So I have another question that comes.
That guy.
Yeah, right. So we have 2 questions to end the show here with. The first one comes in from a pretty high, like I mean, if you guys have a raid spot, maybe you want to look at letting this guy into your raid. This comes in from the Batman via the Bat Cave.
Oh.
What does it take to be in a high-end guild, a high-end world raiding guild? And how much time do you invest? Do you actually have to sacrifice time in the real-world MMO? So, Deva, what about you? I know you had a lot of things said right after when you killed Margok about what you're going to be up to. So what does it take to be in a high-end guild? And do you sacrifice the real-world MMO to do this?
Well, in the first place, if you're working, you're pretty much sacrificing real money to be able to play a game. Like, that's just the case. But in my case, I don't mind like losing a couple of euros to be able to do what I love. And at the same time, when I actually, for me personally, I need to go gym 6 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do like 5 times a week job and around 8 to 10 hours. And then I need to do stream for the people who wants to watch me. So I don't have really that much time for myself. Like, I'm like, to be honest, I've been so exhausted. I'm just happy that it's pretty much done now. But like, for some people, it might like sound like that is a lot that you need to do, and then you need to cut back for let's say like the preparation time. Like my friend actually wanted to come and visit me. I didn't even open the door for him.
Wait,
and he was calling me, dude, are you serious? I'm like, yep, I'm serious. I'm not opening the door. But yeah, like that might, for some people, that most likely seems like, yeah, this guy's a hermit, dude. Like,
right.
It's a rough thing to do for a friend, but hey, man, gotta do what man gotta do, boys.
Yeah. Alzu, what about you? Any similar? What do you think?
Well, I think the time commitment is a lot. Like, well, I don't know. This is my first year in like an actual hardcore guild, so it's hard to say if it's just because it's the first year in expansion with all the leveling and stuff. But oh boy, it has been really busy the last few weeks. And now that I've gotten the time to chill, I'm like, I actually don't even know what to do right now. Well,
Dragon
I
Age
don't know.
Inquisition, anybody?
Right.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But like it takes a lot in that regard. So I think I like all the time I wasn't in school, sleeping, or at the store. I was playing during the first 3 weeks, and after that I had to drop the school just to raid. So it was only sleeping, store, and raiding. But it kind of sounds a lot. But when I don't know if I sacrificed too much at the raiding period though. Like I could arrange my own things that I didn't have any necessary things I need to take care of. Like all my schoolwork was done, and I saw my friends before that a few times, so they wouldn't be calling me all the time. Hey, where are you, man?
Right.
And
Are you
like
alive?
Deva.
Right.
But like I think we got enough sleep there. Like we were given 9 hours between raids, I think. So at that point, you can go to sleep and wake up in the morning and go to the store if you need to, and so
The
I think
highlight
it
of
was-
the day, the store.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I think overall it was okay.
Yeah. And Yuli, what about you? I know you guys said you rated about 18 hours a day during the progression push, right?
Well, I mean the 18 hours was the period that when we started on Wednesday, when we started to clear heroic raids.
Right.
That's the one, the 18 hours one.
Oh, we got another funny, got another little funny
Oh,
in the chat.
This chat. Oh my god.
They love you guys. This is fun. I like it. That's pretty
Also
good.
spinning to win.
Yep. Yep.
All right. I guess it's spin to win time.
Okay, let's
like-
do this.
Like spin to win, and now this happens.
Oh, now you're tagging.
I can't do it all around though.
Are you actually doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Spin to win, boys.
There it is.
360 regu to all.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thanks for that, by the way. Appreciated. That's pretty
Okay.
good.
Hey, DJ. Nice.
I think I've pleased everyone now.
Yes, I think you've broken our chat, probably. That's pretty good. Oh, man.
That's what he's actually doing when he's casting Tranquility in.
Yeah, does he just try and click button
Like you
spin?
can watch the kill video, and when he's in tree form, he's like just waving his hands.
Oh, is he always spinning as his Druid?
Yeah.
Oh,
By the
okay.
way, I want to tell you an insider from Paragon. That's what we actually say. That raise your hands up in the air and spin it on the chair. Like we actually say that. I don't know. That was the first time I saw somebody doing that.
Well, you know,
5
you know what exists now, David. It actually happens. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Also,
That's pretty good.
confess to me. Do you actually do this during the progression?
Well, it's on video now. It'll be immortalized.
I refuse to answer that question. I'm sorry.
It'll be immortalized
Sorry.
on YouTube.
It's still a mystery.
The internet already. There's gonna be a GIF after this show.
There is. There's already a GIF. It's already on Imager. It's done. It's there. Go upload it. Yeah,
It's
there
there
you go.
already.
That's pretty good. But yeah, chat room commented. We're sort of getting close on time here, but chat room commented that, like, actually, like the progression top end guilds, like you guys, you kind of like pile in all of this time, but you probably actually put less time in over the course of, so like, you know, I'm gonna raid. You know, I put in 3 to 4 days, right, with a 4-ish hours a night, but I'm gonna do it for longer periods of time than you. Like, you could already like clear content and be done, which you're gonna add in, probably your alt runs here soon, of course, too. But I mean, like, you'll raid less overall than I will, because I'll be raiding for longer periods of time. So there's a misconception in the community that thinks like you guys are always doing this every day of the week for months, which is not true.
Yep.
So, yeah. But
If we would actually need to do this for a month, I would be insane right now.
you would be spinning in your chair.
Yeah.
I got all dizzy up from that.
Yeah, well, yeah, hey. The show must go on. It's fine. But then, yeah, Yili, anything else to add? You were kind of cut off by the spinning stuff. What was your... yeah, what happened there?
Cut off by the spinning. No, I mean, I
Yeah.
was just saying that the 18 hours that you mentioned, that was the first day, basically. Like that is always the most time consuming.
Mhm.
But I can tell you this, that it's not morning when we wake up. It's just
It's not morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like also said that it's gonna be like 9 hours break, but you know, like not all people go instantly to sleep, and then you need to wake up like I don't know 40 minutes before the raid or like 1 hour before the raid. So you don't actually sleep like maybe like 7.5 hours or something.
Yeah.
Then you need to raid again.
I think we need to bend to chat room real quick here. We need another little moment, I believe. Deva, do you want to make the people happy?
There's a riot on our hands.
It's your hands now, Deva.
I don't know if I can even
Oh
bring...
my god, boys.
There
There we go. I can unfortunately, I can't take the shirt off anymore since
No.
Tweets actually says that you can't.
Don't do that on the show. No, you're
No,
yeah.
no,
Okay.
I'm not doing that. Don't worry, man.
That's pretty funny. Oh, that's funny. All right. So the last question comes in to quell some curiosity in the community right now. Came in from multiple people, but I'm going to use, this is from Barry, the Barely Bear in the Bear Cave. Wants to know, why did Seija take his Prot Warrior instead of his Bear? He's sort of been referred to as like Bear Prime in the community for ever, almost. And he Prot Warriored. So what what happened there? You have like an official statement from Seija, I'm being told. So who wants to take the official statement? Alzu, is that you? Yili?
Yeah, I can take that one.
Okay.
So when we were doing those beta testing with all the DPS specs, it of course included some dummy tanking, so we could decide which tanks do we bring. And at that point, we kind of gave it a thought and how it felt healing those classes, and we actually noticed that the bear druids aren't the best at any role. There's not a single role that they are best at currently. Like earlier on, it could be like the low vengeance DPS was really high from bears, or like they were really good off tanks and so on. But currently, they just don't have anything above other tanks. And then we looked at warriors, and they actually seemed really tempting to take. Like the leap is a nice utility, and shield block makes them really powerful, especially for Magok, which was our priority in the end with the comp. So that's the reason, because warriors just were too strong compared to anything else on Magok, and bears just didn't outperform anyone.
Yeah, they have tons of HP right now, but they get their face squished a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we actually gave it a shot again in the Warspear. Warspear training dummies, just to like give another shot about how good like the other tanks feel.
Yeah.
And oh dear, that you need to heal that bear so much for it to survive.
Yeah.
Compared to the other tanks.
It's fun. That's frustrating. I mean, they think they need a little bit of a armor tweak, kind of like what Brewmaster got. They just haven't gotten it yet. You know, a little something to not be squishy face. But yeah, indeed. Well, gentlemen, closing soapboxes from all of you. We'll go with Yili first. Do you have anything to close to the chat room? Messages from you or from Paragon to the community right now? Do you want David to flex again? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, what do you? Anything to close with, sir? What do you?
I don't know. I mean, as a Paragon, as a team, like we will push hard for BlackRock Founder. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get the world first again.
So you want to come back on the show? Is what you're saying? You want to come back on the show?
Well,
Yeah, why not?
we have
You're
to
good
see.
company.
You're good company. Maybe we'll rotate around the guests a little more on that one. Deva, how about you? Anything to close with?
150 kilos on pens, boys.
Oh. Is that the bench that everyone has to... Oh, that's... Okay.
So that's 330 pounds, if you don't know how much it's on kilos. The same.
Okay, gotcha.
So we've been pushing hard, like Yliajo said. I'll be pushing different kind of
You'll be
face
pushing a
than the other
different
peeps.
kind of... That's pretty good. And Alzu, you, sir? Closing statements? Anything you want to leave the community with?
Well, mainly I'd just like to say that chat is being kind of retarded again. But,
Whip the ban hammer out.
you can't ban the entire chat. I'm sorry. No, I don't have that many thoughts overall. I just like to shout out Sneagle because he's the one who made me reroll Resto Druid and made me love this game so much more.
Ooh.
Because balanced druids are not that fun anymore. I just realized that he was superior to me in Throne of Thunder, but yeah, I've been enjoying the healing thing now, and I hope that I can inspire some young healers from the audience.
Julie's face like, what are you talking about? What is this? You guys are a lot of fun. I'm hitting the button though, gentlemen. It's time to get out of here. We went a little over, but I think it's worth it for those flexes and those spinnings to win. Thank you again, everyone in Paragon that wasn't on. Maybe you can come on the show next time if you guys do confirm that 10 of 10 Mythic Blackrock Foundry kill. Thank you all so much for being here again. My name is Adam KK Bad. I didn't even introduce myself on the show today. I was so excited. But FinalBoss.tv for all of our episodes, all of our YouTube and stuff, all down below the stream, all those great links. The guests today again were, we have Alzu, Resto Druid, Paragon. You can go follow him on twitch.tv at Alzu _, right there. Are you going to be streaming more in the future, sir?
Probably, yeah, some farm raids. Only raids though. I'm not that keen of a streamer, but sometimes feeling comes in and I'll turn on the stream again.
Yeah, alright, well go follow him right there. We also have Yliajo right there, playing the Enhancement Shaman, maybe some Rogue on there. He's also on the Twitch at YLIAJO. He already been streaming for a while right now, actually, sir.
Yeah, actually, it's gonna be like next month. It's gonna be 1 year when I started streaming. So there's that.
Sounds pretty good. They can follow you right there. Thank you for being on the show, sir. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. It was fun.
And we have Deva returning again. He's also on the Twitch at Deva High, DEVAHI. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the flex. Thanks for letting us know your bench too. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Gotta keep that in there. Hopefully see more of you. Maybe I'll bring you on for the Hunter episode. Who knows?
All right.
All right. He wants to go to sleep. Oh my goodness, David.
Well, I have 6 a.m. wake up and it's already 1 a.m. so I'm running out of time, boys.
Yep.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
So
we can take our time.
Oh, we can. Oh well. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everyone in the chat. There's no show next Sunday. Specifically, there will be some YouTube content being released between now and the next show on January 4th. I have the LA video when I was in LA for the Warlords launch cinematic. I've got the BlizzCon 2014 BTS video to work on, and of course the live raid between Midwinter and Method to finally get up online. You can find those all over on our YouTube. I also have last year's BlizzCon and last year's live race as well. And yeah, so January 4th, I'll be sitting down with a couple members from Ascension, the Oceanic Guild that just showed up out of nowhere with their own servers and was like, hey guys, what's up? We don't lag anymore. So we'll talk to them on January 4th and see how that worked out for them. Another interview about all these top guilds to give you guys more information on how these guys do their stuffs. So thank you all very much for watching. For everyone behind the scenes at Final Boss TV, really appreciate it. Trust in the tempered seal of fate. Blah. And have a good one, guys. Bye-bye. Wave, bye-bye. Wave. Oh, gosh, say goodbye, you freeze. Yeah. Deva, give him a flex. Deva, flex. Do it. Yeah.
All right. Peace, boys.